to another video. Today we are going to talk about analyze data to answer questions. Course challenge that will be in week 4, and this will be the last course challenge for this course. And I'll proceed with the answers now. So as you can see, the first 7 questions is based on the scenario 1. So we'll read that once. So for the past 6 months, you have been working for a direct mail marketing firm as a junior marketing analyst. Direct mail is advertising material sent to people through the mail. These people can be current or prospective customers, clients, or donors. Many charities depend on direct mail for financial support. Your company, Directly Dynamic, creates direct mail pieces with its in-house staff of graphic designers, expert mail list services, and on-site printing. Your team has just been hired by a local nonprofit, Food Justice Rock Springs. The mission of Food Justice Springs is to eliminate food deserts by establishing local gardens, providing mobile pantries, educating residents, and more. So we have a email from Tyan Bell. You can look into the email, and I'll read the further analysis. We have a dynamic data set that I have opened up here, which have the columns as title, first name, middle, last, company, job title, board member, trustee, and address, unit, city, zip, and so on. So you can open that sheet and you can work on that. So the client has asked you to send 2 separate mailings, one to people within 50 miles of Rock Spring and the other to anyone outside of that area. So to research each donor's distance from the city, you need to find out where all these people live. So you could scroll through 209 rows, but there is a more efficient way to organize the cities. So the question is saying that you want to organize the city. You have to organize the city, and since the template consists 209 rows, so it is quite not that easy, but it is not that difficult to go through all the rows and look into the cities, how many columns, or what are the values there. So if it is 200 rows, you can easily do it, but imagine that 2000 or 20,000 or 2 lakhs or 20 lakhs rows are there. You would not want to look into each rows and then identify or notice what are the values or what is the ordering in that. So you have to sort the column by city, the seat by city. So I have selected the city, and you can select in ascending order. So we have to sort the city by column K from A to Z. So when you double click it after selecting the cell, when you will go in mode cell option, you can see the sort range option, and column K is selected, A to Z is selected, and you can just sort it in that manner. So now it is in a sorted approach. So you can just select any column, and the sheets will be arranged according to that. So second question is, you notice that many cells in the city column K are missing values. So you use the zip codes to research the correct cities. Now you want to add this city to each donor's row. However, you are concerned about making a mistake, such as a spelling typo. So to add a drop down, there will be an option like to add a drop down where you'll have the list of number cities, and you can just look into that, and you can fill in the names from that after selecting from that. So that is the part we used to do, like data validation before entering. So for saving extra effort after you have inputted some values, and you have to finalize whether it has been corrected or not, if the names are correct or not, then you don't want to have any spelling typo mistakes there. So you have data validation for that concern. Third will be, now you decide to address Tyan's request to include a handwritten note in the direct mail piece for anyone who gave at least $100 last year. So to change how sales appear, you can conditionally format. You can use conditional formatting. Then to highlight sales with a value of at least 100, you choose to format sales if they have a value greater than or equal to 100. So that is true. Like we had conditional formatting in Google Sheets and Excel as well. There will be sales will be highlighted according to condition. So at this point, you notice that the information about state and zip code is in the same cell. However, your company mailing list software requires states to be on a separate line from zip codes. So what function do you use to move 5-digit zip code in a cell L2 into its own column? So we'll look into cell L2 first. Yeah, so WY space 82901. So when we can trim 5 digits or characters from right side, and we can just store it in our column, it will give us the zip code, and we can have that. So you can just select equal to right L25, and you can drag the column drag the cell to the bottom, and you will have the values for zip code in a different column. So that, yeah, you can do. Next will be a SQL question. So you duplicate dataset twice using the sheet menu. Now you rename the first sheet donation form list, and there is a scenario, you can read it out. With your company's mailing list requires unit to be on the same line as a street address. However, they are currently in two separate columns: street address and unit. Which SQL function will instruct the database to combine two columns into a new column called address? So we can have concat here. Concat is going to solve, since concat is used for merging two string into one. So we can use concat to having similar values, what is required here. Sixth one is, your database contains people who live in many areas of Wyoming. However, it's important to align your in-house data with the data from Food Justice Rock Spring. You also need to separate your data into two lists: donation from list and postcard list. They will be based on each city's distance from Rock Springs. What SQL function do you use to select all data from donation form list organized by zip code? So we can use order by. Order by is organize the data into the form of zip code in ascending order or descending order according to your choice. That completely depends on you. So the seventh question will be to retrieve only those records that include people who have served on the board of trustee or on the board of directors. What is the correct query? So we want the members who have served in the board of a board member or trustee. So we can, as we can see, for board member and trustee, we have true values for the people who have served as those positions. So we can just select true. So it will give those values only where the condition met. So that is the correct query. You can run on SQL also if you have similar data type like that. Eighth will be your company. So 8 to 13 will be a scenario based two questions. We'll read it out now. So your company's direct mail campaign was very successful now, and Food Justice Rock Springs has continued partnering with Direct Dynamic. One thing you have been working on is assigning all donors identification number. This will enable you to clean and organize the list more effectively. Meanwhile, another team member has been creating a prospect list that contains data about people who have indicated interest in getting involved with food justice system. These people are also assigned a unique ID. Now you need to compare your donor list with the data set in your database and collect certain data from both. So we can use left join. A left join will return all records from the left table and only matching records from the right table. So that is the correct join that we can use to retrieve our information. So ninth question will be, your next task is to identify the average contribution given by donors over the past 2 years. IN will use this information to set a donation minimum for living as for inviting donors to an upcoming event. So you start with 2019 to return average contribution in 2019, contribution 2019. So store it in a value. So we are just going to give an alias here. What we are doing is average. We are taking average of contribution 2019, and we are just storing it as average line total. So you can add alias, and it will be stored in that value, or it will be represented as that. 10th question will be, now that you have provided her with average donation amount, Diane decides to invite 50 people to grand opening and one community garden. You return to your new donor list as spreadsheet to determine how much each donor has gave in past 2 years. You will use that information to identify the top 50 donors and invite them to the event. So what is the correct syntax to add the contribution amount of O2 to P2? So we have the document here, new donor list. So we are talking about O2 to P2. So total amount you can just select here, and from O2 to P2 you will get all the values and addition of that. So you can use sum and bracket O2 to P2. This will give you the formula of O2 plus P2. So you can use that. So the next question is, Diane is thinking about inviting anyone who has donated at least 100 in 2018 as well. However, she has only 5 open spaces. She asked you to report how many people have given at least $100. So she can determine if they can also be invited to the event. So we can just have this query here, like we have 209 rows. So we will take O2 to 209, and it should be greater than O2 to O2 to 209, and this should be greater than 100. So this is the value. If it is satisfied, then we can have the count here, otherwise it won't be counted. So the 12th question will be, the community garden grand opening was a success. In addition to the 55 donor, Food Justice Rock Spring invited 20 other prospects attended the event. Now Diane wants to know more about the donations that came in from new prospects compared to the original donors. To identify, the SQL query can be used to identify percentage of contribution from prospects compared to a total donors. So we look into the query, select event contribution, total donors, total prospects by total donors into 100 as prospect percent from contribution data. So we want to percentage of contribution from prospect compared to the total donor. So exactly, yeah, that is correct, and this query will execute perfectly, since we have mentioned like we want to have total prospect in compared to total donors percentage. So the formula will work fine here, and it will give the correct answers. The last question will be, your team creates a highly effective prospect list for Food Justice Rock Spring. After a few months, many of these prospects become donors. Now Diane wants to know the top 3 cities who live closer to Rock Spring and are more likely to donate. So we'll look into the queries now. So as you can see that which SQL query will retrieve the number of donors in each city sorted high to low. So we want number of donors from each city, and that will be in a sorted manner. So we'll look into the query that I have selected. Select count donor ID. So it will count the donor ID, and on the basis of city, you can see the group by here. It will group by the city, and accordingly the count ID, donor ID count. So we'll have donor ID count and city from new donor list, and order will be according to donor ID. Count of donor ID descending. Same, this will give the correct output, and we will have the required output as we desired from it. And I think that will be all for this video. But I would suggest to, I have said before, keep a good hands-on experience in Excel and SQL, and you'll have quite easy life in analytics. And that will be all from my side in this video, and I hope that you have liked the video. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading many more videos like this in future. Thank you.